Hello my friends, my name is Tim Johnson. In this video, I want to share with you what it takes to both get sober and stay sober, whatever your drug of choice is. And it involves making very tough choices, hard choices, painful choices. And I'm going to share a few of those with you. And towards the end of the video, I'm going to share with you the one choice that you're going to have to make. Doesn't matter who you are, if you're dependent on a substance, addicted, you're going to have to make this choice to stay sober, to maintain your sobriety. You know, a lot of people say on the internet, on some of these channels, that there's no problem getting sober. It's easy to get sober. You know, you just have to stop drinking or taking drugs, stop putting them in your body. But every single one of you out there who is in addiction at the moment or has sobriety, doesn't matter how long that sobriety is, will know that it's the hardest battle you will ever face in your life. You know, it's easy to say glibly, you know, oh, it's simple, just don't put it in your body, you know, and click your fingers and magically this addiction will disappear. But even those of us with long-term sobriety, doesn't matter how long it is, 20 years, whatever, will know that sometimes, not every day, but some days it's a daily battle. It's a battle to stay sober, you know, and I just want to share with you a few of the tough choices that you're going to have to make and how you're going to make them. You know, at the end of the day, the first tough choice you're going to have to make if you're dependent on a substance is that you're going to have to stop and go through withdrawal. Somehow, you're going to have to get through to the other side of withdrawal. You know, that simply is a rite of passage. You can't go any further in your sobriety till you've done that. You know, and there's three things which I always say with any of these tough decisions that you're going to have to make, that you're going to have to assess in your brain. Do I need to do this? Do I truly want, with all my fibre of my being, to do this? And the final one is, if the answer to both those questions is yes, to take action. Because at the end of the day, it's action that counts, isn't it? We can all talk a good job, you know, but at the end of the day, it's what happens when people aren't watching you that's really important. You know in your heart and in your mind, you know, what you do every day when no one's around. So it's up to you to get through that withdrawal, to ask yourself those questions and to take the necessary action. And please subscribe, like and share the videos on this channel, because there's lots on withdrawal here, as there is on lots of subjects about sobriety. And indeed other subjects like nutrition and exercise and all that sort of stuff, well-being. It just helps more people see the videos. So yes, you've made that decision. The first tough choice you're going to have to make. Well, it's actually the second, because the first tough choice is to find the want to change, basically. The want to get the other side, to want sobriety so badly that you're going to put yourself through some horrendous feelings and pain to get there. And let's not sugarcoat it, because yes, for some people, you know, if you're I don't know, and there's nothing wrong with any of this, if you're a binge drinker or whatever you are, you know, or dabble in substances, then maybe it is going to be easier for you to stop. But if, you know, people that watch this channel, for instance, and I know myself, I'm talking about myself now, you know, that you're addicted, you're an addict, and you have to own up to that fact, and you have to truly want to stop. And that can be a bit like a bereavement, if you like. And, you know, stopping alcohol, stopping drugs, that thing, that crutch that's been holding you up for so many years, that's the first tough decision you've got to make. Do you really want to do that? Because if you don't want to do it with every fibre of your being, you're not going to get through the withdrawal. Simple as that, because the pain and the discomfort will be too much, and you'll crumble unless you've got that mental strength and resolve to push yourself through it. So you take action. First tough decision. You want to jack all that crap in, and you want to move on. You want to go through withdrawal. Another tough decision you're going to have to make, and I get this a lot from people contacting me, is to divorce yourself, if you like, from all your drinking and using friends. Unless you know in your heart that you can enjoy, eventually, I mean, if they're really good friends, you don't want to lose them forever just because they like a drink or whatever. But if you put yourself around those situations where drink and drugs are, in early sobriety in particular, you've got no chance. So you need to find like-minded people, if you like, initially indeed, for the first few months, I would say. And not only not being around people, but places that are going to trigger you. I mean, obviously, you're not going into, if you're an alcoholic, you don't want to be going into pubs and bars in the first 2 or 3 weeks of your sobriety, because that would just be stupid. You're going to need to build up a barrier, a strength, in those first few months, and make some very, very tough decisions. And every day, those tough decisions are going to mean finding inner discipline, which I talked about. Have a look at the last video. I talked a lot about that in the last video. Finding inner discipline and strength. And discipline really means that something is the right thing to do, and it's good for you, but it's uncomfortable, it's painful, it hurts, whatever. But you need to find the strength inside you to do it. And that's essential for getting and staying sober. There's no doubt about that in my mind. Because you're going to have to recreate yourself, rebuild yourself. You're going to maybe have to find a new circle of friends. I get people, my family came round, they were all drinking and I couldn't enjoy myself. Well, let me tell you, I went to my daughter's wedding a couple of years ago, and it was probably the happiest day of my life, or one of the happiest days of my life. And there was drink in every corner and every nook and cranny that I could have drunk without anyone seeing me. And I was actually more the life and soul of the party than anybody without a drink. You don't need, eventually you find that inner joy. And I'm going to come on to this tough choice in a minute that's going to make you, enable you to find that inner joy, if you like. And it won't matter. You'll be strong enough to go anywhere, do anything, and enjoy it just like any other person, knowing that you're not putting anything into your body that's going to kill you, damage you, destroy you, which your addiction will eventually do. There's no doubt about that. Tough choices all along the way. You're going to have to make tough choices about changing your lifestyle. In those early days, you're going to be stuffing sugar and all sorts of shit down you just to be comfortable. But then you have to ask yourself, why are you doing that? And eventually there's going to come a point when you're going to have to stop doing that and put something good inside you. And that means lots of, good whole food, plant-based whole food, ideally, lots of good supplements, all that sort of stuff. It's not as nice to eat as a cake or a bar of chocolate or anything. Of course it isn't. But eventually, when it becomes habitual, when it becomes integral to your life and you become stronger, it becomes your lifeblood, because everything you put in your body is how your body performs, basically, in the short term and the long term. And these are all tough choices, and you get the idea now about tough choices. And there's lots to make in the early days of sobriety. And don't forget, it's with all these choices, it's do you need to change a behaviour? Do you want to change a behaviour? And then you're taking action. And if the answer is yes to both those, you're taking action. Action, 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 because nothing happens without the action, does it? You can procrastinate as much as you like, but unless you take action, you're never going to move forward. And as I said in the last video, if you're not moving forward and you're standing still, there's only one way you're going to go: backwards. Old behaviours, old lifestyle. You don't want that anymore. You want to recreate and rebuild yourself. So finally, just to finish off, I want to share with you the most important thing. This is my belief anyway. You know, I'm not a doctor or anything, but I know for me this was the most important thing. And I know addiction, and I've been around addicts for many, many years, most of my life. Not only using with them, but trying to help as well. So let me just share this with you. And a lot of you will know this anyway, but it's the toughest decision, this one, I think. It's the most difficult one to make. But without it, you're never going to have some long-term sobriety, in my opinion. You're always going to go back. Now, why do you use drugs and alcohol? You know, why are you an addict? It's a massive question, isn't it? And there's lots of different answers all over the place. But to me, the thing that drives most addiction is the fact that when we're taking our drink or drug of choice, we want to take it. We're taking it to feel better for whatever reason, to make us feel better. Why do we want to feel better? Because we're feeling pain. And I believe truly, and if you like, got Dr. Gabor Mate, by the way, if you look him up on the internet, and he's done a lot of research on it, brilliant man. And this is where his belief is, that all addiction stems from some sort of pain. Yes, you can become dependent on a substance, but something's going to drive you to using that habitually. Because you're self-medicating, you're constantly trying to make yourself feel better for whatever reason. And unless you address that pain, and that pain can be physical, it can be, pain in your body, horrific pain sometimes. It can be emotional, mental, it can be trauma, PTSD, all sorts of things, bipolar depression. Now, there's lots of serious situations out there, lots of pain that we can't just glibly, deal with ourselves, that we need professional help to deal with. Some we can deal with ourselves. And that is being a prisoner of our past, stuff that's happened to us in the past, that's holding us hostage to moving forward. A lot I had to deal with in my past, in my childhood, that I never addressed for years, which was driving my pain. And this is the tough decision that you're going to need to make. You're going to need to make a decision, because you're going to have to, when you're strong enough, I'm not talking about the first couple of weeks of sobriety, when you're strong enough, you have to turn around and you have to face this pain. You have to find a way of dealing with it. Maybe it's always going to be with you and you're going to live with it forever, but you're going to have to find a way to live with it comfortably, in as much as it's not going to drive you back to your addiction, because you don't want to be using a substance again to medicate that pain, whatever that pain is. So you're going to have, the tough decision you're going to have to make is to face stuff, nightmares, if you like, from your past. And you're going to have to make another decision. Do I need professional help to do that? Do I need a doctor's help? Do I need a psychiatrist's help? Do I need a counsellor's help? What help do I need? Because you're going to maybe need help. For me, it was a case of facing demons from the past that I'd put to the back of my mind that were driving my addictions. Once I'd done that and put those demons to bed, then I'm able to move forward and get stronger and stronger and stronger. You have to address pain before you can move forward. And that's the message from today, really. It's not easy stopping addiction. It's the hardest and best, but the best thing you will ever do in your life. And all of you out there watching this can do it. You have the strength, the will, the ability, whatever you want to call it, you can do it. Trust me, if I can do it, you can do it. And I know that's a glib thing to say, but it's true. But you're going to need to make these tough decisions. You're going to have to live with them. You're going to have to action them. And they're constant throughout sobriety and getting sober and staying sober. It's the best thing you will ever do in your life, my friends. Carpe Diem. Seize the day today. Make today the day you change your life. Much love to you all out there. Take care. Bye-bye.